Hey everyone, I'm Aidan and welcome back to the channel. Today it's basically the end of the day, it's 9 p.m. and I've filmed nothing. I meant to record some of the cats, but I just didn't get any footage. Buffy was under the bed for the entire time and Max was nowhere to be seen. But I did meet up with the extended family at the other house and having family dinner, and it went very well. I enjoyed it. And it's crazy because, when you actually move out, for roughly about 20 years, I've lived in the same house with 5 other people. And that can really get to the point where you just naturally have people to talk to, and it can get a little annoying. And I definitely felt like I needed my space. And that is why it's so good to be in this new house. So I have all this time to myself. Although my brother does live with me, he's not always here. So I actually do get some peace. So when the extended family gather at the old house, I can go there and it won't feel kind of like, oh, I've dealt with this all week. Why do I need to have even more people? It's so much more special. I have proper motivation to actually spend time with the extended family now. And yeah, today I especially did my best. I've found that a good tactic is to make sure you have somewhere to sit. Because if you're just standing around all uncomfortable, then it can just feel really awkward. But if you sat down, maybe there's still that awkwardness. But I found that observing and just letting life play out however it goes, it just kind of leads to some satisfying moments where people just reach out to me and talk to me. And that's how it's basically gone today. It went very well. I loved it. And especially in this kind of life, this isolated life where I spend so much time alone, it's nice to spend time with this external. I've still found myself kind of a little too attached. We're getting to the point where it's just like, it's not that big of a deal anymore. For instance, Doctor Who wise, I've had resistance for flipping so many years. Like, it's not just this 9-month thing, like when I started my rewatch of Doctor Who. Then again, you could count maybe 2020, there were clips of Power of the Daleks, maybe 3 seconds of footage. Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a bunch of scraps. Except we weren't able to build anything out of the scraps because there was even less. And I've realised what's truly been bothering me is when I put it in a really simple way, it's like, why was I ever so worked up about it? It's basically something is temporarily inaccessible. And I'm like, when I simplify it that much, I'm like, that is stupid to get worked up over. I don't know, I go through these kind of phases where I'm like, oh, but I want my soulmate, that I want her to be here now, and it would be a great time. But at this point, I've realised I get all of this love from my family and friends. What is the point of putting all this value in some random stranger that I've never met? I know it's awesome when there are certain things I want to do in this world, and I suddenly have access to that. Considering it's just for fun and entertainment, it's really not necessary for survival, one thing. But it's not worth having so much energy lost to it. I know for a fact that my singlehood is not a weakness. This is strength. How many people do you see genuinely at peace in their singlehood? Instead of, oh, I need to chase, I need to go on dating apps, I need to make sure that I'm always with someone, otherwise I'll never fill this void in my heart. You fill that void with self-love and also embracing the current circumstances. It's okay not to be at the dream life yet, but when you actually pay attention to what's around you and think clearly, start to understand yourself, come up with the perfect responses to a lot of triggers. Because that's a thing where when you actually identify the triggers that are actually really bothering you, You just respond to that where it's like, oh, that doesn't actually mean as much as I thought it did. For example, me at the gym, I feel there's a possibility of me meeting the woman of my dreams, but it's like when I spend every day there, I go in, have a successful workout, and the woman doesn't turn up. Why does that even matter? It's such a simple thing. It's such a simple thing to lose a ton of energy to. It's so pointless to care that much. Of course, there are people out there with far more success than me. And I don't think it's just the looks. It's the way people act. But it's also, it helps when you have that breakthrough. Because, when you have a lifetime of lack, it can be really difficult, or maybe even easy, I don't know. But, once you get the breakthrough, it's forever changed. And then suddenly, if you can get it once, you can get it loads more times. And I'm currently without the breakthrough. So, whatever. Will women avoid me for the rest of time? I highly doubt it, but, it could take a long time before anyone even shows interest. So, I'm not expecting random girls to click on this video and go, oh, let me show pity. This is the thing. I feel there's only one person for me in my lifetime. So this is going to have to be done expertly instead of me being impatient and wanting the universe to bring her in before we're both ready, and then it goes absolute, I karate chop the desk. I don't want the universe to bring us together before we're ready, and then we get it wrong, so wrong that I've heard stories where people get with their soulmate, but they haven't conquered their insecurities and don't have enough of an understanding of the universe or the way reality works, and they spend the rest of their lives apart from the person they were meant to be with. And that sucks. But, a lot of people do end up living a different life to the one they are supposed to. So, yeah, it's just about really learning to put your faith in the universe and really stop stressing. Because what energy you put out comes back to you. The 3D, the reality around you, is just a reflection of what's within you. It really is that simple. And better yet, I've been responding to stressful situations in the most calm ways that I can think of. And it's ultimately just changed the game for me. I am much calmer than I've ever been. But I just know that everything works out. That it's beyond faith. I've had example after example of just evidence. For instance, me moving into this house a month ago. But if you want success in life and you are just avoiding meditation, that you're just avoiding the opportunity to really truly know yourself and be able to work with the circumstances that you have to find success. Instead of expecting the external to come in and save you, some random hero just comes in like, yes, everything's fixed now. It's not the way it works, most of the time at least. But it's far more reliable to literally go within yourself and just work on yourself to the point where you reach a certain frequency, and that frequency you put out is what you attract. You just have to ask yourself the right questions. I guess we can start with those Doctor Who missing episodes. Oh yeah, speaking of, I should have mentioned this earlier, but yeah, I was watching a video by Josh Snares. They make amazing content. Basically in the 70s, the BBC finally stopped junking their episodes and really got a hold of their archive, got it together. Basically, this meant that chances are all of Doctor Who was lost up until like season 11, like maybe a couple stories of that. And by some sheer miracle, because of the hard work of Doctor Who fans, we now have a complete collection of every Third Doctor episode. Maybe not every single episode has like perfect colour because of the whole, you know, not everyone had a colour TV, and a lot of the episodes were just transferred into black and white so that they could sell a bit better, I don't know. But I really should appreciate that more. And I guess that's the lesson, that how little I actually valued that I just forget about the Third Doctor's era entirely because, you know, it's complete. I should just use that as the example, like the foundation for what attracts every other episode of Doctor Who back. Even if it doesn't all turn up. Even season 1, most of it is recovered. Season 2, most of it is recovered. How many other shows from the 60s have like season 1 and season 2 mostly recovered? That's insane. And like season 6 mostly recovered too. That's fantastic. I guess we can ask the question, why am I so worked up about something being temporarily unavailable? Perhaps it's just me wanting to be validated by the external, to put it simply. And I really don't need that anymore. So what would me receiving these things even do in my life? How would that help? Yes, it would be fun and entertaining, but apart from that, what does it change? I mean, maybe the community of Doctor Who is like in huge celebration, and you know, the complete return of all of the Doctor Who episodes would be huge for the world. News articles on it, you know. I even had the idea, like, I mean, for example, the Third Doctor era, when they transferred the colour episodes to black and white, for some reason, tiny bits of colour still existed, and people used actual magic to use technology to bring out the colour from those little tiny bits of colour that was left. Everything that was aired on TV, I feel it's possible that there's still a signal of everything that was ever transmitted. Surely it's possible to just take all of those transmissions and just bring back everything in high quality. That should be possible. This is my reality, and I choose to believe that this is possible, where every single thing aired by the BBC, if we're focusing on the BBC, maybe even ITV, because, you know, that's British too. And something I found too is that I have like these passing thoughts, and I just kind of like, oh yeah, that would be cool. And then I get about my day, and then they turn up. This is how to do it. Instead of these passing thoughts coming by and me feeling like, oh, this attachment to like, oh, but I've failed in the past so many times and for so much time. If only it would just stop resisting me. But you know, what if I forgot that entirely and these passing thoughts happened? I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Anyways, moving on. And then it just turned up out of nowhere. You know, I feel that's probably how it's going to work. Soulmate-wise, I think the question would be, why do I place so much value in someone else that would bring in love that I already have from not just me, but my family and friends? I've got so much love in my life. Why would some random stranger even add value to my life? Well, wasn't this fun? Anyway, if you got this far, put Spike in the comments, and if you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe. Anyways, I love you all, hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!